Vietnam, located along the eastern Indochina Peninsula, is a country which was ravaged by war for many years. Having been in and out of foreign rule from as early as around 200 BC, they value freedom and peace very greatly. This can be seen from the fact that after the war, North Vietnam and South Vietnam made peace, unlike Korea where the North and South are still enemies. And the fact that most of the Vietnamese people, old and young, have forgiven the Americans for the atrocities they've committed during the war. Another thing the Vietnamese value is social bonds. Most of the people living near the family we visited were related.
Vietnam pretty much has the entire coastline, coupled with their never bow down attitude and iron will which they had built up from all they've been through. They have the potential and opportunity to control sea trade in the area and possibly become a very rich nation.
Another opportunity that there is in Vietnam is agriculture. Vietnam is over 500 times the size of Singapore, and at the house we visited, we could see that their farm seemed very unorganized and the ground was covered with leaves, which made it very easy to trip over something. If they were to plan for their farm even a little and made proper paths, it would increase their efficiency. By increasing their efficiency, they can increase their output, and it can make the poorer regions of Vietnam, such as Bến Tre, more prosperous if people were to invest in their agriculture. The Vietnamese have quite a relaxed lifestyle, and the older generation are content with what they have. Both days of the days when we went to the house we visited, we saw a few locals gathered there chatting and the elderly playing cards.
However, we noticed that most of the younger generation seem to have a growing desire to better their quality of life. We interviewed some of the volunteers at YMCA who are our guides, which were university students. Most of them wanted to work in or around Ho Chi Minh City after graduating and not go back to their hometown to work.
So when you become excited, like why you want that?
What do I want to be in the future?
Yeah.
A social researcher.
Social researcher.
Or are you going to work there when you finish
Like
studying?
go back there and work? Or are you gonna like go to Ho Chi Minh City or somewhere else?
Because I want to be a social researcher, so maybe I can do research in many parts of the country.
And when we interviewed her grandmother at the house, she shared with us how her husband died in the war and how she continued to raise her children so that they could work for the Vietnamese army to protect Vietnam in the future.
Rồi, để anh nói lại cho nó nghe xong.
Raise her son, her kids in order to help them become adult and work for Vietnamese army to fight to protect our country.
This growing difference in views between the older and younger generation could weaken family ties, which the Vietnamese value so much. Even though everyone has the right to better themselves, does that mean they can abandon the ideals which the older generation fought so hard to protect? Such as giving back to your community. Abandoning it would also greatly anger the older generation as they had sacrificed so much for it.
Another problem we noticed is a lack of quality education. Even though the students there are very attentive and seem to have a strong hunger to learn, some of the teachers are not passionate in what they do. One of the teachers there only became a teacher because her parents wanted her to be one. This is quite unfair for the students there, as in Singapore, there are many students who don't want to learn but are given such a good environment to do so. Why are the people with a greater desire given less opportunities, and the ones with little or no desire given so many?
And it can result in even more inequality due to the fact that it is hard to get a good job without a good education. For example, the daily wage of some of the store owners in the market in Bến Tre was about 200,000 dong per day, while at the Bến Tai market in Ho Chi Minh City, one shopkeeper was attempting to sell a shirt for about 200,000 dong. If she was able to sell it at that price, she would have just earned the daily wage of a store owner in the market at Bến Tre. solutions we came up with for the differences between the views of the younger and older generations would be to bridge the gap between the generations. This will require the younger generation to be better educated so that they can understand what the older generation has been through and how they feel, and for them to understand the importance of retaining the ideals of the older generation. And the solution we came up with for inequality is to create more job opportunities in education in the poorer region. The government can promote jobs in teaching by giving teachers better benefits, such as better pay, which will make teachers happier to be teachers. However, this may lead to corruption among them, as people may become teachers just for the pay. And another solution we came up for inequality is to make the agriculture industry in the poor regions of Vietnam more attractive to investors by increasing output and efficiency with proper planning.